These slides present an overview of our paper with the title Sustainability of Open Source Software Communities Beyond a Fork. How and why has the LibreOffice project evolved? The paper is authored by Jonas Gamalielsson and Björn Lundell, and it is published in the Journal of Systems and Software. The overarching goal of our study was to establish rich insights concerning how and why the LibreOffice project and associated communities have evolved. Many organizations need to preserve their software systems and associated digital assets for more than 30 years. This causes organizations to vary concerning different types of lock-in and inability to provide long-term maintenance of critical systems and digital assets. Open source software with associated communities has been identified as a strategy for implementing long-term sustainable software systems. Firms and individuals may have different reasons for contributing to open source projects, something which can cause tension and lead to a fork. Sometimes an open source project may be divided as a consequence of a fork, something which is a possible outcome in open source software development. The issue of forking open source software projects has been an ongoing issue of debate amongst practitioners and researchers. We note that there is a lack of knowledge concerning how specific open source software communities are affected by a fork. Consequently, there is a need to obtain rich insights from specific open source projects involving a fork, and in particular insights from large, widely deployed projects that have evolved for many years. There are two specific objectives for the study. The first objective is to characterize community evolution over time for the LibreOffice project and the related OpenOffice.org and Apache OpenOffice projects. The second objective is to report on insights and experiences from participants in a community of the branched project, LibreOffice, in order to explain how and why the project has evolved after the fork from its base project, OpenOffice.org. For details concerning how we address these objectives, please refer to the paper. Overall, our study presents findings from the first comprehensive analysis of open source software projects involving a fork. The analysis of sustainability of open source software communities and evolution of the two independent open source software projects after a fork shows that there is potential for successful branching. Our specific emphasis has been to investigate insights and experiences from community members for the project which was established as an outcome of a fork. The study reveals a number of important findings related to long-term sustainability of open source software communities. First, the LibreOffice project, which was forked from the OpenOffice.org project, shows no sign of long-term decline. Second, the LibreOffice project has attracted the long-term and most active committers in the OpenOffice.org project. Third, our analysis shows that open source software communities can outlive open source software projects. Fourth, LibreOffice is perceived by its community as supportive, diversified and independent. From this, we find that long-term community members seem to manage establishing a new project and a tailor-made foundation for its governance in a way that is appealing to old and new contributors. The findings from our analysis of the LibreOffice project and the related OpenOffice.org and Apache OpenOffice projects contribute new insights concerning challenges related to long-term sustainability of open source software communities. For software systems with long life cycles, the success by which an open source software project manages to recruit and retain new contributors to its community is critical for its long-term sustainability. Hence, good practice with respect to governance of open source software projects is perceived by community members as a fundamental challenge for establishing sustainable communities.